Welcome to the Space and Grace podcast. I am your host, Tanisha Harris, and here at Space and Grace, we focus on healing, laughing, thriving, and loving. And we do that by granting ourselves and others the space and grace to evolve in very practical ways. I hope y'all are ready. Let's do it. Hello, everyone. I'm here. I am here. I am back. I am recording a podcast. And as you can see, the title is Why I Stopped Podcasting. Y'all, let's just jump right into it. So I'm so glad that you're here. I'm so glad that you have had the patience with me. If you have been following me since I started my podcast, I appreciate your support and your patience. And if you are new, thank you. Please share, subscribe, and follow. And I'm here today to talk about why I stopped podcasting. So many things have happened. So many things have changed. I have relocated once again, but I think I am now in the space that I am supposed to be in. I have transitioned into a new job. So that has been interesting and fun and challenging. And just really navigating life and all of the thoughts and emotions and stressors that come with navigating life, being a partner to someone, being a mom, a sister, a friend. All the things have happened, and all of those things have been blessings and great things. And as I have poured into those things, I honestly stopped pouring into myself. So, why I stopped podcasting? There's nothing necessarily deep about the reasons why I stopped podcasting. I think about things like time management. I think about things like whether or not I have this fear of success or this fear of critique. And I think about self doubt and a lack of confidence. Recently, I was on Instagram and I saw a post around saying, and I forget who posted it, but it basically said that procrastination and perfectionism really kind of lie at the same point, and it's avoidance. And if I'm being honest, that is exactly what I've been doing. Me using or saying time management as an example falls into procrastination. Me focusing on whether I have a lack of confidence or self doubt falls into perfectionism. It falls into me wanting to be perfect. Focusing on time management falls into me just procrastinating and procrastinating. You know, if you listen to me before, I've always talked about how emotions and thoughts are triggers and indicators. They are really stopping points to say, hey, this is bothering you. This is indicating that there is something deeper. So I could have used this podcast, and honestly, I did. I recorded an entire podcast around time management and self doubt and whether or not it was imposter syndrome. And I went through the history of the imposter syndrome. Originally, it was called imposter phenomenon. And then I deleted it because as those things were true and as those things were important and significant, the value lies in identifying those things as triggers and then going deeper than that. And I thought about that Instagram post around perfectionism and procrastination is avoidance. And that's honestly what I've done. I have avoided recording my podcast. So I'm here with you now to really real time think through why I stopped podcasting, why I have avoided the podcast. And the first thing that comes to my mind is that I have compared myself to all the other podcasters out there. When I first started my podcast, I had season one, season two, season three. There were things that I wanted to share. And, I was doing and following the methods and tactics of others. And they may have been successful for them and they may not have worked for them. But I tried to pull out what really worked for me. And in that, I became confused. In that, I became concerned with whether or not I was truly being authentic to me. I looked around at people who have been podcasting at, shorter times than me or longer than me or whatever the value of time it was, but they seemed to be more successful. They seemed to have better equipment. They seemed to have a better marketing plan. They seemed to have a lot of things. And what I was really doing was comparing. And not only was I comparing their um, podcast sound or music, or whether they were podcasting in a studio, or whether they had the right marketing, I was really just comparing my skills and my gifts. And that's just not cool, y'all. For years, I have followed Miley Teal. Please look her up on Instagram. And she has always said something similar to the fact of, when we go shopping in the grocery store for bread, there is an aisle and rows, ROWS, not rolls, ROLLS, rows of different types of bread by different brands. Even the brands have different types. And none of them seem to be less successful than the other. And I had to really sit with that as I got on the mic today. Like, no one has the content the way I do. The context is the same, but no one is going to deliver it the way I do. And the way I do is going to resonate with someone. That is my hope. That is my prayer. That is what makes me want to continue. So let's sit with that. Let's sit with how often we stop doing things that fill us up because of comparison. Now, I could go deep and pull out some scriptures, but we know what comparison does. It robs us of joy, it robs us of being authentic, it robs us from really learning and growing and seeing how far we can grow. It takes away the true purpose of what our gifts and skills are. I started this podcast because of what I started to learn as I matured, as I started therapy, and I just wanted to share it. But then I started comparing myself to what other people were doing and what equipment they were using and whether or not my microphone worked. And I'm piecing together, a microphone stand, and I'm doing all these things. And I had people to say to me, hey, I miss hearing your voice. I miss what you're talking about. But I was so stuck in that place. I had people to say, it's great information. It needs to be longer. People would say, don't make it longer, make it shorter. And I started to just compare everything. I stopped podcasting because as I compared myself to others, I missed my gift. I missed my gift. And we all do it. But we're going to stop. So I am not looking to say season 4, episode whatever. I have identified a goal for myself as the amount of episodes that I want to get out this year. I have identified a goal as how I will share and post about my podcast. And I'm going to do that is specific to my authenticity and my personality and my heart. I've often been told that I don't separate professional from personal because to me they're one and the same. Who I am in the workplace is who I am here. And so I am here in this space to share my heart. That's what makes me most full. So some days you may get an episode and it's 15 minutes. And some days you may get an episode that's 30 minutes. I am always going to follow quality than quantity. So I hope you are excited to continue this journey with me. I have typed up my notes from several different thoughts and insights, and we're going to learn and grow this year together. And I'm going to share with you in real time how I am growing. So right now, I'm moving out of comparison. I'm not fully there, but I'm really focusing on my gifts. I'm focusing on who I am, the woman I want to be, the woman that I'm becoming. And as long as those things have aligned for me, then I'm moving in the right direction. And everything that will come or everything that should come will come. I hope you take this ride with me. Let's see where it goes. I'll keep y'all posted. That wraps up our episode. As always, thank you for listening and sharing your time with me on the Space and Grace podcast. You know, here at Space and Grace, we focus on healing, laughing, thriving, and loving. And you know, we do that by granting ourselves and others the space and grace to evolve in very practical ways. I hope you have heard something that resonated with you, something that challenged you, something that encouraged you, and something that loved you. I want this podcast to serve you well. And if it has, please help me with the following. Subscribe, follow, share the podcast, leave me a review, let me know your thoughts, all of them. Send me an audio thought and let me know if you want me to include it in the podcast, or send me an email. And if you have a topic or question you'd like me to talk about, let me know. You can email me at Space and Grace Podcast. Space SPACEAND Grace GRACE podcast at gmail.com. All of this information will be in the show notes. Are y'all ready? Let's do this.